channel. I document the journey of building my next business. Today is my last weekend in Argentina. I wanted to do a little bit more of like a final sightseeing in Buenos Aires. We're going to Puerto Madero. I've not done any shots from Puerto Madero, so it's a good first time. And while on the way, you know, I think one important thing to mention about the company, I'm very close to setting up the corporation structure, just doing a bunch of conversations with tax experts and people who can help me with tax optimization. So for example, one mistake that I did with my previous company was that I owned the asset of the brand. And when I sold the brand, when I sold the asset, the trademark, I had to pay extra taxes. If it was going to be a company that owned it, I would not have had to pay those taxes. So that was a pretty hefty thing. I don't want to do that mistake again, obviously. Because of that, I'm looking at if I should do the US company structure, C corporation, and own it with a Hungarian company, or own it with another European company. I think I'm gonna nail this down next week and then hopefully go with the next thing. Apart from this, there is a possibility that it's actually going to be an American supplier who's going to help us producing the gums. So that's a pretty big news. Their prices are almost equivalent to the prices that a European company offered. I didn't expect that coming, but this offer just came in this week. So that is changing some of the aspects because we were really ahead with the European company. The only thing that I'm still expecting is a price offer on the shipment from Europe to the US and the packages for the products, because I know the price of producing the product, but I did not yet get a quote for the packages. So, you know, once everything is in hand, it's all built into an Excel sheet. I'm just gonna do some final calculations and hopefully decide. But those are the major things on the business side of things. And now we are going to Puerto Madero. Yo guys, so here we are in Trade Skybar. This is like downtown Buenos Aires. The view is just amazing. If you look around in this place, you can see how developed the city is, how much it has to offer. Again, I've been here for the past 6 months, and you know, it's a long time. I feel like I accustomed myself to the local life. I learned a lot about the local culture, about the local opportunities and everything. And in general, I had a lot of learning. So, you know, as a sort of like final goodbye video from Argentina, at least for now, I thought that I would sum up, I think, my main learnings from here. And I didn't really structure this, so there's like no order of importance or anything like that. But let's start with the first one. People here are a lot more open. They are a lot more. They care less about how they are perceived, and they can always be like, you know, cracking jokes, being really kind to each other, and not really caring about how they are perceived. At least that's my impression. And I think that's pretty much true in many Latin American countries. It's like, you know, behaving in a way that's maybe funny or comes across as a little bit boludo, they would say here. I think that has a lot of value in it. And for example, for me, because I'm coming from Eastern Europe, where people are a lot more reserved, more traditional, it's different, right? And one thing that I've certainly learned here, and I think that's part of the Spanish language as well, or Spanish culture, or Latin American culture, is like, be a lot more like free-flowing in your thoughts, be more open to fail, or be more crazy in the way you approach life. And I think that's a great mindset. And certainly when you learn Spanish, I think the Spanish language as well was built in such a social form, such a feeling good and connecting on an emotional level. And another learning point for me right now, I do the marketing for the American startup by putting together my project and also doing this content stuff. There's some side projects here and there that you know, may also come up, but I would say that the main focus is the daily work for the startup, my gum project, and the content. And you know, before this, obviously, when I was working full-time on my business and before I sold it, it was everything that I did. And that was a lot more comfortable because I could, you know, just focus on one thing. I was always in sync. And to be fair, I think the learning that I had is not new. is the value of focus, is the value when you're really concentrating your efforts on one thing, you can grow at a lot higher pace and really make most of it. And people who think that they get involved in 5 different projects and that's how they're gonna be successful, it's wrong. If you focus your efforts on one thing and you really put everything into that one thing and learn and master that one area, you're gonna take away so much more and you can get there so much quicker. Because if you're trying to do 5 things at once, you're gonna end up doing none at your full energy, and it's gonna take a lot more time. And certainly these past few months have made me relearn this, because this is not something new. I would say that the only new aspect of this is like, I need to support the new business with the exit that I made before, but also the lifestyle that I'm living is kind of like higher up compared to that one that I had before. And it was a conscious choice to not try to build 2 businesses at the same time. I really believe in the business that I'm building now, the chewing gum, and I really want to focus on that. And if I would decide to do, like, let's say some agency work or service provider work, it would cost a lot of time and energy to build it out from the base. So instead of that, I'm focusing on my efforts to do my duties for the American startup, while at the same time build this up from the ground. And I'm hoping that by next year, February, March, I'm going to be able to launch it in the US and maybe at the same time here as well. And one other learning for me, and I think that's not just for Argentina, but I've been traveling since January for almost 10 months this year. The major learning is wherever you go, the number one thing to nail down is the people that you're going to hang out with. Because the way you're going to feel good about wherever you are is the people that you're hanging out with, the people who influence you, the people who provide a room of comfort for yourself. And I think Latin America and Argentina for sure is a really good place, because when you interact with random people, they're always nice and that makes you feel good. But also at the same time, make sure that you make some local friends, because that's how you're really gonna set your foot in wherever you are and get that comfort. For me especially, because I'm an introvert and I don't really value social time so high, but obviously after working like, I don't know, 80 hours during the week, I do want to have like some social time on the weekend and hang out with my friends and discuss business, but also not just business. It's really important to have that friend group, and here in Argentina, in the space of a few weeks, I was able to get that. And the reason why I'm looking forward to going back home now is to hang out with my old friends, hang out with my family, and get that sweet spot as well. Just gonna get a drink. Okay guys, just going back home, changing, and then I'm gonna have one of the final dinners with my local friends, saying goodbye. Yo guys, behind me is Palacio Libertad, one of my favorite buildings in Buenos Aires. Look at this, it's so beautiful. This building could be in Paris, in Barcelona, in Milan, anywhere in the world. And if you come to Buenos Aires, you get this vibe of like, being in Europe, but at the same time getting the feeling of being in Latin America, and the nice people and the kindness, the nice experiences and everything. And by the way, if we go right there behind me, that's the presidential building. So we are literally in the very center of the city. But mamma mia, like this is just beautiful. This is like a cultural center. I've been here once, but I couldn't attend the event. It was a free event and it was already overbooked, so I couldn't come, but just beautiful. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be in this city. Un placer. Biggest learning point that I had this year is like, wherever you are, wherever you live, whether that's the wealthiest country, whether it's the poorest country, traveling to new places will help you see reality in a new lens. Because irrespective of where you are right now, your reality is distorted and it's minimalistic, and it's not the whole concept. It doesn't show you everything what's happening out there in the world. And if you travel to a new place, even for a short period, it just opens your eyes that life is happening on everywhere in the world, and people are doing interesting stuff, people are building, there's opportunities everywhere, and that's always an inspiring thing for me. So I'm already grateful for having been to all these new countries this year and seeing everything that is happening in the world. If you're in Europe, you think like, Latin America is like third world. It's absolutely not. Like, the amount of potential that these places have is indescribable. And for me that was certainly a huge learning point. And again, if you can place yourself in a country like this with the experience of being from a Western country and getting that education, maybe having that ambitious mindset, you can really build stuff and you can really make a network anywhere in the world. And final point that I've learned this year is you can change your life in the space of a month. It doesn't take years. I mean, for me, when I left Hungary in January, end of January, and landed in the US, it took me 2 months to land myself this new contractor gig that opened me up for the US market. And here we are, 10 months later, living in Argentina. Technically, I work for the US market and I'm based in Argentina, also understand some stuff about the local market here, while coming from Europe, which I totally understand. So the possibilities are almost endless, and I'm super excited.